this, you have to say, "Talk pickle to me" in the sexiest way possible.
Ooh, without being creepy, that's what my daughter would say. I'm weird, but so are you. We all are.
We all are.
Okay. Talk pickle to me.
Yes, Simone. I love it. Woo!
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Talk Pickle to Me. I started this podcast to create conversations in the pickleball space. The first 10 episodes are with the 10 most influential women in pickleball. I did this because pickleball is a sport where men and women are able to play and get paid equally, something I love about the sport. However, on the business side of pickleball, there is a lack of women in the C-suite, a lack of females in positions of power, and I want to help change that. Please make sure you subscribe and comment on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you watch this podcast. If you are on Spotify, please make sure to give the podcast 5 stars. We really appreciate it. So far, we have had conversations with Julie Johnson, an unreal pro pickleball player, coach, wife, mom, and so much more. We had Sarah Carpenter, the mathlete in charge of the Duper algorithm. And today, we have the GOAT of pickleball, Simone Jardim. Simone grew up in Santa Maria, Brazil, and moved to the U.S. to play tennis at Auburn University. She transferred after 2 years to Fresno State, where she became an All-American, the highest honor in collegiate sports. After college, she became a collegiate coach, assistant at Fresno State and William & Mary, and then head coach at Michigan State. She went pro in pickleball in 2016 and has since become one of the most decorated pros of all time. She not only plays pickleball, she is a wife, mother of 3, I think, kids, 5 dogs, many different other animals,
Yeah.
and coach to many pro pickleball players. Last year, she was inducted into the Pickleball Hall of Fame, a very well-deserved honor. Simone, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me, and it's always a pleasure, and I am like you. I think, believe that promoting women and empowering women is the key to our success as a whole, and being the mother of a girl. I believe that is even more important, of course, for selfish reasons. But, I grew up in a culture where it was very much, male dominant as well. And my mother was a very strong female who has been very crucial to me as far as becoming who I am today. And of course, I have an awesome father who has always supported me. Mm-hmm. And my thing with being a mother now is the phrase that you always hated when you were young, but it's like, wait until you become a parent. And I am there now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, your background is so interesting. Growing up in Brazil, I'd love to dive a little bit deep into that. What was family life like? Yeah. Sports, education for young Simone?
Well, I grew up in a small town. At the time, it was like 300,000 people, so you pretty much knew everybody. I have 2 older brothers, and you probably know one of them, who is Marcelo, who is now playing pickleball and playing a lot on the senior pro tour. He will be playing with me in some open. It should be fun.
Wow.
And that's my older brother, and he lives in Spain, and he grew up also playing tennis and then went into padel and now pickleball. And then the funny part is that I have a middle brother as well, Rodrigo, who lives in Brazil. And guess what he's doing now? Playing pickleball.
Wow.
So my whole family now playing pickleball. It's quite amazing. It's especially growing up in an environment. We are always very competitive. Our parents, we lived like 5 minutes walk from the tennis club. So growing up, that's kind of where I grew up. I started playing tennis at 6, and every day that was kind of like our thing. You'd go to school and then you go to the tennis club and spend the afternoons there. So I did that for many years. I'm actually moved out of my home. My middle brother, well, my Marcelo moved out really early. I was little. And then Rodrigo moved out next. And then at 16, I moved out because tennis, so I went to a bigger town to train in an academy, and I wanted to be a pro, wanted to be number one in the world, and that never happened for me. So I ended up coming here for college at 18. And then, never looked back. I never went back, unfortunately, for my parents. It's like you give your kids wings, and then they fly, and then they don't go back. But, I think just growing up, I was never the kind of person that, I wasn't a partier or anything like that. I kind of, I was very focused on, sports, and then of course my parents, my father is a large animal vet and my mom was a teacher.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and we are actually, because people ask like why this interest in farming kind of like life, and that's what I grew up actually. My parents still have a family farm, and we raise beef cattle and plantation, like rice plantation, and we have a pretty big farm. And so like my vacations out, we weren't like doing much of like traveling around. It was like when we had a break or weekends, we would go to the farm, and I ride horses. I'm pretty decent at that, and I'm very coachable. That's what I tell my father, because I wanted to be a vet, but I couldn't do it. One, I am deadly afraid of blood, but the other one is that I hate seeing animals suffer, which is why we have more animals than we accounted for, or we wanted for. Like, I don't know. If I could, I probably would adopt any animal that I feel like this animal needs help. So I am now prohibited in looking any website, just because otherwise, you have no idea how many animals we have. I'll tell you in a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a lot. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the bags under my eyes is the lack of sleep. So.
You are taking care of so many people and animals and things. There's so much to get into, but before we get there, tell us quickly like what your experience was like coming to the US and playing collegiate tennis. I assume, you played at a high level for most of your life, but coming to the US, was that a culture shock?
I think coming to Auburn, Alabama was definitely a culture shock. I was like, I had been here before. I played in Florida. I played the Orange Bowl, and I was there for the World Cup as well, and had been to Germany, and I had traveled with tennis, and I was prepared to be, to come here. I think I wasn't prepared for 1998 Auburn, Alabama. And I honestly, like, I love the school, I love my teammates, and I love the place, and I still keep in contact with some of my friends from there and roommates. But it was very difficult for me to just kind of get used to it. I think people that understand the South back in the days, for a kid coming from Brazil, and it was kind of like I'm not white and I'm not black. I didn't know where I fit, and that was kind of weird, and like it just didn't feel right. So I kind of looked for places where I would feel like, okay, what is the most diverse place that I could find, and I ended up in California, and that's kind of how things went for me. I also was very lucky. I transferred, and I had a great coach. I stay in touch with him until this day. He happened to be, he was Rachel's coach also at South Carolina. So a small world. I mean, honestly, the tennis world is all connected. But yeah, I had a great experience. I learned so much from him, and that's why I wanted to become a coach. And so we were successful in doubles. Our team was top 10 in the country, and that's kind of how things started rolling for me as far as coaching and going that direction.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people's, when you play a sport in college, your coach, he doesn't determine, you have to work hard, you have to give your best foot forward, you have to train, you have to be so mentally prepared every day. It's like a job in some ways, but your coach can sort of make or break your college experience.
Oh, absolutely.
If they, I played soccer at Duke, and if I still talk to my coach every day, just retired from Duke after 24 years, but he is such a loving, almost father figure to everyone. And so everyone has such a fond memory of Duke because of him. Yeah. And if you are in an opposite situation, I've heard so many bad stories. So it's amazing that you found a coach that you love, and you had such a great experience at Fresno.
It was a great match. Kevin Eppley is his name, and he's still the coach at South Carolina, where Lee Waters played. It was before her time, of course. He was coaching me when she was, we're the same age, so we're playing about the same time. But yeah, so, you know, I ended up staying at Fresno State because when Kevin left, so this is the small world. So when Kevin left, he took the job at College of William and Mary. Simone, this French-Canadian guy, coach, took the job. And I became then, a year later, I became his assistant coach at Fresno State. So I was there for a few years. And then I got a call from Kevin at College of William and Mary. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? Do you want to move to Virginia? And I couldn't pass on the opportunity to work under him and learn from him some more. And ended up being a very short time because he went on to coach professional tennis for a little while, and I got the head coaching job at Michigan State. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I was just kind of lucky how things worked out, and then I was at Michigan State for 8 years until kind of pickleball found me. And I, at the time also, I was a little burned out with tennis. Just college coaching is you know, is difficult. It's not stressful. It's not, well, it's just, especially with a family at that time. We started a family, you know, we had Alexis, you know, until this day, she says like, why were you gone so much? And, you know, she was with her dad a lot, chatted, you know, definitely like did a full-time parent there. And I was, you know, on the road a lot. It's like almost every weekend you have a match, especially during the season. And I kind of spend a lot of time away, unfortunately. And, you know, I don't regret it because I feel like, I think everything that I do, I have no regrets. Of course, would I've done some things differently? You know, there's always that, but there's a reason for it. But I do believe that everything that I've done is to provide, you know, to help provide for our family. And I hope that they see all the hard work that we put in day in and day out that will teach them something. Be good human beings. Yeah.
I'm sure you and Chad are awesome. So you were introduced to pickleball while you were head coach at Michigan State, and then you left Michigan State, I believe, to move to Florida to pursue professional pickleball. Is that how it went down?
No. So what happened was I was at you know, at Michigan State, and you know, the winters are rough. Coming like a Brazilian person that's still pretty much used to warmth, and 8 years of winters like where you don't see the sun and it is cold and gray, and there's a lot of snow. Didn't spend much time outside. Most of the, you know, 5 months of the year, I think we were inside. I was definitely like getting some seasonal depression, and I was a little down. So I think it was like 2015, I want to say, maybe 2014. I went to the ITA convention in Naples. It was the tennis collegiate, like they get together for a conference, and it was in Naples, and it was December, and I had just left a bunch of snow, and I got there, and it was like, what in the world? I had never been there, never heard of it, because we used to do spring break in many places of Florida, like, you know, Bradenton and Fort Lauderdale and all of that, and I didn't really like it. I thought I was like, this is way too much like South America. But Naples was different. You know, it was like, this is an amazing place. And I called Chad. I was like, why don't we move here? And it was kind of like more so nothing to do with pickleball at the time. I was like, I'll find a job at a tennis club. I connected with some people. Like, I'll teach tennis. I don't care. Like, I'll do whatever. But I think that there is, like, I don't know. I just had a feeling about it. And then, of course, like, pickleball started picking up and I started playing more. I actually, when I was at the ITA, I played with Kyle. Like, we met because I had met him, like, I had been playing, I played like 3 tournaments that year. But I had met him through you know, just small world of pickleball. So I was like, okay, this place is amazing. Like, we need to think about this. And then the US Open was going to happen, the first one in 2016 in April. And I was still working at Michigan State, and we had our conference tournament that weekend. So, and by the way, like, throughout that time, we had been in talks with Chris and Terry, you know, the Chris Evan and Terry Graham, the founders of the US Open. Yeah. And just kind of brainstorming, because then, you know, I was like, maybe there is room for a pickleball academy, something like that. That's kind of how it went about. So then I couldn't play the beginning of the week because of the conference, but I was like, I can sign up for singles, because singles at the first year US Open, it was on Sunday, on the last day. So as soon as we got done with our conference tournament, I flew with Alexis on Saturday to play on Sunday, and then Chad came Sunday night with Lena. Wow. And so I played that day, and then I used vacation time, and we stayed for 3 days to kind of just look at Naples and see, and we met with people and kind of just look at what the opportunities were. And then started having more conversations with Terry and Chris, and that's how June we sold our house in Michigan and bought a house online in Naples.
Sight unseen.
Yes, just through like a video call. And then we moved to Naples in August. The kids went to school, started school. We didn't have a job. I mean, honestly, we were just like, we'll figure it out. You know, we always do. And so then, you know, met with Jim at the park and kind of did all that. And like literally started an academy. And the first few months, it was like, maybe we'll make it, maybe not. And then season came, and I was on court 6 hours a day teaching. And then when I couldn't take any more people, Chad started teaching. Wow. And then by the summer of our first year, Phil Metz, who has worked with us, I mean, he played for Ohio State and coached with us since the beginning, because we couldn't handle anymore. Like, we were literally overbooked. He started helping with clinics, and he's our real estate agent, by the way. Has one more house to sell in Florida. He sold all the others, and but that's like, that was just like, all of a sudden, like, we're a full-time academy teaching, and I'm playing as well, and that was it.
And that was 2016.
Yep. By 2017. We were doing really well. That was our second year and really going. And I mean, I like I said, I was teaching. We were teaching a lot.
Wow. And was the academy close to your house, or where did you teach out of?
So it wasn't. So it was like the East Naples Park. So the good schools for the kids were in North Naples. So that's where we bought a house, and that's where we ended up living. But East Naples is like, you know, in traffic and no traffic is a big difference. Season, no season. So it was a good like 30, 40 minutes depending on the time of the day and the time of the year. So that's why in like a couple years later, Naples started growing. We weren't the only ones that found Naples. About, bunch of other people did as well. And Naples started growing, and traffic was horrendous. And to get across town was, there are days that I was in my car for like, just to go and back, like an hour and a half. So then we moved to Bonita Springs, which was a lot closer. It was like 15, 20 minutes. And we then moved our academy there. And that was a couple years later, and Phil came with us. And then we kind of added more instructors, and I think at one point we had like 6 or 7 people working with us.
Wow.
That's pretty nice. And then more tournaments came about. Pro pickleball exploded, and then COVID was insane because nobody was working, and we were teaching like not much. We were coaching, not coaching, playing throughout all of this in some closed tournaments. So I was still traveling quite a bit, and but also Naples became like the place to go.
Yeah.
So all the people from the East Coast started migrating, and I mean, Naples today is not what it was when we moved there, 9 years ago. So big difference. So it's, people are like, oh, why would you leave? And I was like, well, when places get too busy and too much traffic, feel like too much like a big city, that's when we exit.
Yeah, I wanted to chat about that for anyone that doesn't know. Simone and Chad decided to move to Nashville last year. Yep. Big move, incredible move. Talk a little bit about what went into that decision. You bought a house, you have a pickleball court, you have many farm animals, you have pros living there. I know Richard Levernice was living there. I don't know if he still is, Amanda Hendry. You've coached a ton of pro players. So talk about that decision. That's a big life change.
Yeah, so we kind of like, like I said, it is amazing. It's an amazing place. I have so many friends still there, love Naples. I just didn't enjoy 2 hours in the car every day just to take Alexis to school. There are days that we would take, 45 minutes because we were kind of like off, like not in the city. We were, we moved further in. Which that, we wanted more space. Like I had my place that has 3 acres. To buy acreage in Naples that you can afford, you have to go in town more and more. So it was quite a drive every day to go drop her off, pick her up. And then, just the traffic it is crazy. Like just Chad was back there because he sold his house. And it was a mess, like just crazy, just too many people, I think. The infrastructure of the city was not built for that many people. That's my only thing. But also I think a lot of the moves that we had made, I know that selfishly had been a little bit of my decision, and Chad likes the cold. Chad likes all seasons. And so we started looking at places, and it wasn't a decision that we just like one day woke up and like, oh, we're gonna move to Tennessee. We looked into Texas because also with all the traveling that we're doing and he's doing, having like out of Florida to California is a day travel. So we're like, we maybe, oh,
sorry. Thank you.
Good. So we're like maybe somewhere more central. And then we're like, Texas would be just as hot as Naples. So we're like, okay. So then that's in February of last year, or no, May of not this. Sorry, not 24, but 23. I did a celebrity event here in town, and Chad came with me, and we spent literally like 30 hours here. And we're like, we need to come back. This could be a place for us. Like, and he's into country music. I wasn't. And then I became obsessed with it.
Obsessed.
And so, obsessed. It's pretty crazy. It's awful, but I love it. But then, we came several times after that. So we came for the CMA Fest, spent, 3-4 days here,
Fun.
started looking around. One of my students in pickleball is a real estate agent here. And so we started talking and really looking into this being our place. She showed us so many houses throughout all our trips here. And then I think after Christmas of 24, no,
23.
sorry, after Christmas of 23, my dad actually came to visit, and we kind of like had a plan of kind of doing a small farm. And so dad came to help find like what would be the best property for that and the house and everything. And we found our place. We bought it in February, and then we moved in June. So we've been here since June of 24.
Okay, I got to get into what is all on the farm. This is the most exciting part. I've seen some pictures of cows. We have many dogs.
So the dogs have increased. The number has gone up. Lucky 7. We just got another puppy.
7?
7 dogs.
I thought it was 5.
It was 5. But then we got the cows, and we had one cow for a little bit, and we have Highland cows, and the plan was just to have the Highland cows, but then we have tons, and so we also got ducks and we got chickens, and unfortunately we lost one of the ducks to we don't know what, but the noise at night is pretty scary out here, because we are up on a hill, and we got a few acres, and there's a lot of wildlife here. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to know what got it, but
Fox
we know
or
something.
Yeah.
And it was pretty brutal. I mean, I was distraught.
Spare us the details of that.
Oh, I was distraught. I'll tell you that I cried, and it was awful. But so we looked into what would be the best with the cows, and livestock guarding dog. They're called LGD, and they are amazing. It's a Great Pyrenees. I never had one.
Wow.
We got one, and she bonded with the first cow that we got, and they're the cutest thing together. I mean, they are like, they play and they clean each other. It's amazing. So, but then we got a second one, and I was on a site, and I saw these. Yes, and I saw this baby, and the mom looked a little rough, so we went to see them. The mom didn't even have milk anymore. She was pretty skinny, and I looked at Chad, and he's like, let's do it. Okay, fine. He usually just goes with me. So we got baby and mom. And I'll tell you, milk is back.
Awesome.
She's feeding again, and the baby is healthy, and so we have 4 cows, which then made Maisie, the new dog. Her work is a lot harder. So they work all night, like she is. Because I'll tell you, like, we have a lot of coyotes. We can hear them, and then there's other dogs, other livestock dogs around, because we can hear their barking. I mean, their bark is scary. Like this dog is like the sweetest dog ever.
Yeah.
She is amazing. Like, she's baseballs. She's so cute, so cute.
Yeah.
But when it's time to work, it's time to work. Like this dog, you will not. Yeah, it is incredible. But I literally looked at her. It's like, this dog has bags under her eyes, like just as bad as mine. Like, she does not sleep. Like, she is up all night, and then she's working during the day because we have deer. We don't let anyone hunt in our property. So the deer all come here because it's safe, and they know, they're not stupid. So we have the other day we had 10.
Wow.
Just around our property. So she's up all day as well. So she doesn't get any sleep. I was like, okay, so, we looked online, did some
Need to bring in relief for Maisie.
So that's where we found a puppy, and Cody. Cody is the new puppy. He's also a Great Pyrenees, the cutest puppy ever. It's like a ball. It looks like a ball of snow.
Yeah.
And she's training him. Like he found his bark the other day. She was working and he went along. He imitates everything that she does, and he learned so much already from her. And I'll tell you, but they do sleep together during the day now. At least that. It helps because I felt so bad. I felt like this is the hardest working animal I've ever seen, and she needs to rest. So that's the addition. We still have the 5. Our oldest dog, Charlie, was on her last leg. A few weeks ago, she didn't look like she was going to make it through Christmas, and somehow she picked it up, and we don't really, they haven't been outside too much because they're more indoor dogs, but they have the whole basement for themselves. They're spoiled. So they're down there in the warmth. And then we have the 9 chickens.
Oh my gosh.
We started off with 4, and then we got little chicks and we raised them.
Oh
and
my
now
gosh.
they're outside. And
You getting eggs from them?
Yes, but right now it's low because it's so cold. But Landon, so they're smaller because they are like smaller chickens, so the eggs are smaller. But I'm amazing, like the yolk is so yellow, it's so different. Like when we buy from the store,
100%,
and the ones we have is ridiculous. Like ours, like the end so much more yolk. So when I make him like eggs, like I feel like he's getting a really good meal. So. But it's hard. The chickens can't keep up with how many eggs he's eating right now. So we're down to like 3 right now.
We eat the same thing. My boyfriend's family has chickens, and so we get fresh eggs, and there's nothing like it. The yolk is orangey yellow. It's bright. It's you're getting the good nutrients.
Well, and the shell is so much harder, and then
light years different.
Brought. Yeah, and I mean I feel like he's again, you want your kids to eat healthy. There's so much junk out there. They eat a lot of junk, but if we can get something good in them, it's helpful. And he likes eggs, so I make him whenever he asks, he gets eggs.
Oh, well, that's an awesome experience to grow up on a farm. Do you have anybody helping you manage these animals?
So right now it's Chad and I. This is why, like, we wake up really early in the morning. We gotta let everybody out.
Wow.
It doesn't matter how cold it is; they want to be out. So and the Highlands are they're Scottish, so they're built for this kind of like their fur, their hair, whatever you call it. They're built for this weather. They don't mind. They just want to be out in the pasture eating. And just moving around. We just bring them at night. We bring them into a barn that Chad built. Very crafty husband.
Wow.
He's built a lot, and building more. So we just
amazing.
Keep growing. The chicken coop is getting an expansion because of we have 9 now. So there's a lot going on around here. But but we do that. Every day is just kind of like we have a routine set. I am right now I'm looking for somebody to help me when he's gone.
Or when you're gone. What happens?
Yeah, so I'm not traveling as much this year. So I kind of I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I want to continue teaching. I'm still teaching and coaching, and I'm going to continue to do that. But the playing part, I'm going to pick and choose what I want to play. It would be every now and then. I definitely will be playing the U.S. Open, which I think tomorrow starts. Yeah. So I'll be playing that, and I have some really cool partners for that. I'm excited.
Awesome.
Yes, I'll just tell you. So
I was going to say, can we know?
Yeah. So I'm playing with Amanda.
Awesome. Hendry, Amanda Hendry, for anyone that doesn't know.
Yeah, Amanda Hendry. So she does live here. So she lives like down there, just a couple of minutes away. And then I'll be playing with Jaime on the split age for I could play with my brother. but I told Jaime a long time ago I would play with him.
Wow.
So I'm playing in the Pro Open with my brother.
Wow.
So he's gonna venture out with the young one. So we'll be definitely the oldest pair playing in the Pro Open. I think.
Well,
it'll be hard to beat us.
I was gonna say that doesn't matter. You are so athletic. Your movement is fantastic. You can.
Oh, he is incredible. I mean, the genetics. I tell you, like we're very thankful because all of us. You know, I'm the youngest at 45. So my older brother is, you know, over 50, but he moves like in his 30s, if not 20s. I mean, it's crazy, ridiculous. But so I'm excited. I mean, I'm super excited. So, and then I'm gonna try to play for sure one or two tournaments prior to the U.S. Open, trying to see the ones. So for Marcelo, because his schedule is different with the seniors, I have to play one that has like the Humana Cup, because then the Humana Cup is on Friday. So then I can play with him on Friday for mixed doubles. And then Amanda and I will get a practice as well. So, but like I said, I'm picking and choosing my battles here because I also feel like, you know, you were 15 once, I was 15 once, and I have a daughter that's 15, and I want to make sure that I am around because she's sure to tell me, you know, when I was young, when she was young, I wasn't there, and now I feel like this is the most important time, and I need to be here. I need to be here because, you know, it's not easy. I think it wasn't easy our time. It was different, right? But I think that these times is scary. That's the word I like to use. It's scary with social media, with the technology. You know, I always tell her, like, the difference between your time and my time. I had fights with my friends at school.
Yes,
but the
face to face.
But the difference is that I went home and I did not have, like, I got busy, right? And I didn't have a cell phone. So if they wanted to call and, like, if they wanted to talk to me, they either had to come to my house or come to where I was, or they had to call me on a landline, and I wasn't going to sit by a phone.
Yes.
So by the time the next day came, it was forgotten. Where today, these kids, they have their fight, right? They have whatever is going on, and then it continues on for hours on end. And just builds up because now also it's easy to do something behind a screen versus face to face. You're going to be really, you know, if you're mean, you're going to be really mean on a keyboard.
Yes.
So that has been, I think, the thing for me is kind of guiding her through that and making sure that she's strong enough to stand on her own 2 feet. But I think that, you know, it's important to be present and to kind of be there. You know, she loves her room, and I know that there are times that she doesn't want to see my face, but, you know, sometimes that 10-minute car ride is an amazing time.
Yes.
You know, I can't take back. I can't have those moments back, you know, and I do not, you know, like I said, I don't regret many decisions in my life, and I do not want to regret this, and I want to make sure that she's, you know, she's a stable woman, you know.
You're providing her that love and support that only a mother can provide. My parents did a fantastic job of that, but I had a lot of friends that, you know, their parents had the money. They would pay for babysitters. They would pay for certain people to come over and watch them. And money does not give a child the love and care and support that they need to grow up. Toys and experiences do nothing compared to the love of a human.
Presence and presence. Sometimes it's just being present. You know, Landon, this is our son, our
so cute. I love him.
Growing boy. He's got me so bad. I'll tell you, like, when he comes over and gives me, you know, the little kiss, and I know he's up to no good. Steals my phone, but because we're trying to be consistent. Alexis didn't get a cell phone until she was 14, and he keeps telling us that all of his friends have cell phones, and I was like, well, unfortunately, you are not going to have one. So he'll grab my phone just to play. It's not even just to play. And the one thing that I'll say that I am very proud of is that my screen time has, and that's why I apologize. I'm like the hardest person to get a hold of. And that's because I never have my phone with me.
It's amazing.
It's been my plan because I spent most of my time on my phone. I mean, when you're coaching, when you're doing things, and even
attached.
with pickleball, you're like, like, when is my next match? And here I am attached to a phone and just messaging people and all of that. And I kind of decided that was one change I was going to make, spend more time screen time. So now like I'm down to like 30-40 minutes a day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, 30-40 minutes.
You're living the dream over there.
Because we're outside so much, people's joke is like, why do you have this house? I was like, well, the kids need to be inside.
They're outside all the time.
Well, it's just, it's just like with everything that we have going on. And if we don't have something going on, I make something up. I invent something else. I have another project going on. So right now, Chet is outside because we are clearing some dirt and to put some new structure out there. And then we have an outdoor court, and today we just finalized. We are covering that sucker because it's too cold, and then soon it'll be rain. And I miss teaching. I honestly, like, the part that I do have to say is that it's always been a part of me, is that I love that part, like coaching and teaching. And so we have like so they haven't been here much because it's just Nashville's still, as big as Nashville is, there's not a whole lot of facilities, indoor facilities, and courts in general, to be honest. Like here, there is like a place a few, like 10-15 minutes away, there's 2 courts, and then about 25 minutes away, there are 4 courts. For the amount of people, like there's not enough. That was surprising to me. But now that there is a bunch of facilities coming, but they're not going to be ready for probably another few months. So we are going to cover the court. So we have here in our property, we have Richard, Jack, Amanda, and Eric.
Yes, Eric. I remember. Yeah. So Richard is from New Jersey, not far from where I am. I think we started around the same time playing, which has been fun to watch his trajectory. He didn't have a racket sport background. No. He was all lacrosse.
Lacrosse, yeah.
I love Eric Onsens. He is one of the guys that I think has a ceiling that is very high. But that's awesome that you are housing these pros, you're coaching them. Are there any pros, them or others, that you think could have a breakout year in 2025?
Oh my gosh. So the one thing I'll tell you that I have not watched that much. So that was one thing that was, I think, some of our fights and arguments is that before Chad got really into like the pro pickleball, now it's the other way around. So I used to, the coaching me would never leave, I don't think, but I used to like get home after tournament and watch. So I would watch my matches to see what I have to get better. What do I need to improve? Why did I lose this match? And like I was so, like that was it. So I would watch, but his pet peeve is that I would have the volume. So
my boyfriend hates that too. The ball.
Yes. He used to get so upset. It's like, turn the volume down. I was like, well, I want to hear the ball.
Yes.
Like, I want the sound because like it might tell me something about like, am I mishitting? Am I my footwork? Like, what is wrong? And so that was the one thing that now he watches, but he listens to his broadcast to see what he can improve on his end. So I'm like, hey, listen, this has come around a little bit, buddy. So, but it's just I think the little that I have watched, and that's a kid that I knew he was gonna be good. I've known I've known Gabe since he started playing. Didn't speak much English when I met him from Bolivia, and he played, I think one of his first tournaments that he played was our tournament in Tampa. and he played like in the junior division, the skinny little guy. And so that's kind of how I met him. And you know, that was a long time ago, but he has come a long way. And I think he's only getting better. You know, some of it that I watch, he's just so tall and lengthy,
Yes.
but still, you know, very athletic and young, which I, you know, I mean, I know I'm not naive. You know, I think youth in any sport is good, and pickleball is no different. I just think the game's gotten faster, and you know, his hands are great, and his mobility is really good as well. So I think he's, you know, he's got still. I'm sure that he will continue to improve, and I know that a lot of good things are happening with him. You know, as the year starts to unfold for new partnerships. So
Yes.
I think it would be great. So if it's true that he's playing with Ben, I think you know, Ben will definitely help guide him and teach him a thing or two. And if you combine that with his ability, I think it's, you know, phenomenal.
I agree. For anybody that doesn't know, Ben Johns has been the #1 player in the world for a very long time, and he was playing with his brother Colin Johns, and now the rumors are that he is going to be partnering up with Gabe Tardio in the new year. And you know, Gabe kind of had a breakout year in 2024. His team, the St. Louis Shock and MLP, played amazing. He won, you know, mixed and doubles. So he's just an all-around super young. I think he's 19.
I just don't think he's been consistent.
Yeah.
So I think he has, like, you know, a good result here and there, and I think that's maturity, you know. So that's the part where, you know, why certain players have more consistent results versus others will like win this, but then, you know, not, you know, it's like a up and down. And I think that's where Gabe, that's when the age does show and experience does show. So I think having somebody that has been around a lot longer and has been kind of at the top for so long, it's not just, you know, this game is not just ability and athleticism. It's in between the years, and you have to be consistent with results. You have to be in a place where your confidence is always there. I think that's what is the difference between the top players versus the ones that are below, because, you know, you show up one weekend and you feel good, maybe you had a good week or something, you know, and then it clicks, and then you show up and you do well. But then, you know, 2 weeks later, you have a terrible, you get a terrible tournament, terrible results, I guess, and you're like, what happened? But it's that is, I think it stands from maturity and confidence and, you know, development, more so mental than anything else. So
I think two things. He won some men's titles with Andre Deescu, I believe, and I think his breakout was when he won some mix with Jessie Irvin, because a lot of people had sort of ridden her off and said, you know, she was past her prime, and then Gabe, you know, took her. So I think that was kind of a big thing for him. But I like what you said about the mental side of the game, coming from soccer, where, you know, at Duke we had a sports psychologist that met with us every couple of weeks, and at the time I was one of the best players in the team, and I just thought, oh, this is for people that suck. I didn't want to give attention to it. I was like, yeah, the rest of the team can use this. I'm good. But as I've gotten older, I've realized the importance of sports psychology and how it is such a mental game, and all of the greats work on their mental, if not more than their physical, because the margins are so slim in other sports. So I'm interested to see if more people will actually put time and money and energy behind getting their mental side right.
Yeah, and I think honestly, like, you can do it in many ways. Like, you can do it. You have to. Nobody can do this alone. That's ultimately it. And I think, like, somebody like Gabe has great parents. And that's always helpful. But at the same time, like, you have to have someone that you can go to just be able to talk things through. I think the part that people don't, you know, sometimes, like, the general public, I think, is it's like pickleball is not that difficult, and I get it. Like, it's not that difficult a comparison to some other sports, but the traveling is the same. The amount of play is sometimes worse than some other sports. People love to compare it to tennis, and I would say tennis, you go and you can have it's much more physical for sure. I played tennis my whole life. It's much harder, but in a tournament setting, it is not, because in a tournament setting, you go and you play and you have a 3-set match and you're done for the day. You come back and you play only the next day, where in pickleball you play and then you stop and then you play and then you stop and then you play and then you stop, and if you are successful, you play all day. And by 4 p.m. your brain is trying to shut down, and you have to find the strength to keep on going. And that's what people don't realize, that if you're playing at a high level, you are constantly, and if you are playing at a high level with using your brain, because the mental tiredness is much harder than the physical. Because these young pros, they can go all day. I mean, I'm telling you, like, they can do laps around me. But the difference is that when it gets to that 4 p.m., 5 p.m., the difference is that your body can be fresh, but is your mind fresh? And I always say, like, get off of this thing. Go sit quietly. Go, honestly, clear your mind before you go play again, because and eat and all that. Like, there's so many things that happen in a day, and if you're not mature enough to make those decisions, good decisions, you end up not having the results that you could have had you been more prepared. And I think that's maturity, being used to being in that week in and week out, being in that position where you're gonna be playing all day. That's why I feel like the performances of certain people are inconsistent, because 1 week they are focused, they are ready, and the next week they don't have a routine, something consistent that they can go to, that they can fall into in case the A game doesn't show up. Because it's easy to play when you're feeling great, when everything is good. But when you're, more often than not, you're going to have your B and sometimes your C, and what do? What's your fallback? What's your go-to? If it's not your mental and your physical is not helping, you're not winning, because everybody's good. It's not like you're not going to get an easy match anymore. So I think that's the part where that maturity, and I think some of these players are starting to pick up on that and investing more time and effort into developing that side. And pressure situations is much harder for somebody that doesn't have that mental strength. So agreed. And now they're playing for more, like when I started playing, like, we were playing for hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars at some point, and now these kids are signing
millions of
dollars. That's crazy. It's awesome, amazing, but the pressure is now much greater. And can they handle it? How do they embrace that pressure? How do they rise to that occasion is, the key to their success. And I think, like I said, Gabe, I see that, I haven't really talked to him. I haven't seen him, but I know that he has great parents and a great family. And I think that is just a part of it that will help him through. And then I think, if it is true, like I said, I think it will only help him having somebody that is mature. And Ben is very, he's completely the opposite of me, in the sense that, I'm more of I kind of go with the flow and feel my way into a match, where he's always a little bit more methodical, I would say. So I think that would be great for Gabe, because I think Gabe has got that creativity, and he can come up with some crazy stuff, and I think that's good. But then, if it gets out of control, I think that's where somebody with experience will be able to bring him, hey, if it's working, great, but if it's not, you need to simmer down a little bit.
Yes.
And that's good to have somebody that can bring you to that level.
Awesome.
On the women's side, honestly, I've seen so many girls go, come and go. But I played, I played this kid so many times in my career, and I don't think she's going anywhere anytime soon. I think AL is just so. I honestly think she's only getting better.
Yeah.
I don't think she has reached. I don't think she has peaked yet. I think that she's gonna be tough to beat, no matter what she's playing, and I think it's tough to see. I think in singles, I would say some of the other girls are more challenging.
Kate Fahey, you got some more athletic tennis players coming in.
And I think honestly it's just that she's still managing to beat them. So it's not there. But I think what it does for her eventually is that makes her draw harder earlier. So that's the difference, right? So and I'll tell you from my own experience, when I first started playing, the draw wouldn't get tougher until later rounds.
Yeah.
So then it's much easier to not much easier, but it's not as hard to win when you are kind of rested going in. Now, when you started to look at the draws getting tougher earlier on, that makes it tougher throughout the day. And when she's doing well in all three divisions, the more matches under your belt that are tougher, the harder it is to keep it up. Some of these kids might do well in singles, but then they are not doing well in doubles, mixed doubles or gender doubles. So I think that's where I think it will become a little bit more complicated. She's going, and also because of the fact that, with soccer, because she did play some soccer, and your body, you have to save your body, you have to pick and choose. I think and they're smart. The
she did a good job of that. I actually think
managing when to pull out and when not to play singles, because
taking some
singles
tournaments
is tough.
off.
Yeah, and I think you have to manage that schedule, because I think if someone could, and probably there are some pros that play every single tournament, they would be on the road the whole year. And the thing is that the body would just go
deteriorate.
Yep.
All right, awesome. So we got Gabe and ALW as two that she thinks are going to continue to be super successful in 2025. I think many people would agree with you there. We have about just under 5 minutes-ish left, so I want to get to some of these questions. They're going to be quick shots, so quick answers. You've been involved in pro pickleball for 8 years. That's crazy. I think you're definitely an OG or an original. What about the journey has surprised you? Quick as possible.
I would say is the quick growth, and I think COVID.
Okay.
Definitely.
Quick. Yep. Who do you look to for inspiration?
I think, my family. I think, my brothers, always.
Love that. Seems like you're very close to them. What accomplishment are you most proud of, and why?
My kids.
Aww.
It's not quick, but I'll tell you that it's the hardest job you ever have. And I know that when they're with us, they're pain in what. We fight, we argue. But I think the biggest accomplishment is when somebody else tells you how great your kids are, how well behaved, and how good human beings they are, and that's it. That beats everything.
They are the best. They've traveled with you. Every time I'm in the New York City Open, the APP, they're always there. Landon's always, I would play with Landon so much. He's the cutest. Okay, is there any rule in pickleball that you would change?
I would say not rule, but I would say I've always been a big person with, especially as I'm aging, but I think as I see the growth of pickleball is smaller draws, maybe make it more like qualies, and then make it where you play maybe, max out on number of matches. As the quality of players gets higher, too many matches, too many hard matches in one day, I think that would help with injury prevention, burnouts, and I can go on. But pretty much smaller draws for main draw, and then if you have to make qualies gigantic, make qualies gigantic. That's what makes other sports successful and helps the growth. Like to get to the main draw, you got to earn it.
Yes, I like that a lot, actually. Is there any goal you want to accomplish this year?
I would say for pickleball, it would be to, be able to be in the finals of the U.S. Open, with Amanda, with my brother, but just do well. I'm of course, I will have fun. That's never a problem. I enjoy myself, win or lose, but winning is always better. I have way more fun when I win. So, I just kind of, it's a thing of mine. I don't want to jinx myself. I won't talk too much about it, but I definitely want to make it to the finals and hopefully win a title. I did not win a title last year. I got silver, my best. But yeah, so get back on the gold part.
Love that. What do you want to be remembered for?
My relationships with people, the impact I've had in people's lives. I am a very kind of bonding person. Relationships are huge for me. I just feel like, when people think of me, they thought like, yeah, I could count on that woman for anything and everything. And she was always there for me. And just in general, being somebody, that was there. I just feel like life goes on too fast, and if for me personally, relationships are important.
Love that. All right. Last but not least, you have to say "talk pickle to me" in the sexiest way possible.
Ooh, without being creepy. That's what my daughter would say. That's what Alexis would say. You're like so weird, Mom. And I was like, yep. I'm weird, but so are you. We all are.
We all are.
Okay. Talk pickle to me.
Yes, Simone. I love it. Woo!
Yeah,
okay.
It.
Well, thank you so much for coming on here today. I think you truly are the GOAT of pickleball. You have done so much for the sport.
I will not be getting goats, by the way. That's not...
you need one goat to resemble yourself.
I don't like that. I mean, honestly, I appreciate you, and I wish you the best of luck. I think if you can do your part of empowering, supporting other women, I'm all in. Whatever you need, as far as my help is concerned, I'll be there. So that's
I appreciate
really important.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I mean, I have found pickleball in 2021 after I played soccer, had a bunch of knee surgeries, 6 knee surgeries, ankle surgery, and then pickleball changed my life. So I've just kind of been all in ever since. I'm obsessed with it. But trailblazers like yourself are just unbelievable, and I think you do it in such a genuine, authentic way that is really inspiring. So thank you.
Sorry, do you have 1 minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have to say that I was a tad jealous of you.
When? What?
New York.
What?
So you have to understand, I come from tennis. Like, tennis was my life.
Mm-hmm.
You got to play with Kim. Like, I grew up watching her. Like one of the funniest videos actually of her is her giving her skirt to a guy.
Yes, I was sent that. I didn't even know that existed. After I played with her, someone sent it to me.
Oh, I've seen. I'm telling you. So her, just everything that she is and stands for. But when I saw you in New York, you were playing like 2 courts over, maybe a court over. I think I watched more of your guys' match than my own. I apologize to my opponents and my partner. But yeah, I was like, wow, Kim is playing, and it's pretty cool. I mean, that was.
It's awesome. We we live close to each other. You should come down. We can get some games in, but it was really cool.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we should. I mean, that was a very special moment. she is historic. I think a lot of people love the way she plays and her attitude, but she's just such a good person, and I think everyone
just think
feels
of
that.
you playing with, like, I'm gonna throw a Mia Hamm. I don't
Yes.
even know, like, so something like that. It'd be like you playing on the on the same team as her. That's like me over here. So
I cried. My assistant soccer coach is best friends with Mia Hamm. She played on the World Cup teams. And every time Mia Hamm came to visit, which she did often, I would bawl my eyes out. People are like, okay, it's been like 5 times that she's come and you still cry every time. So I get it.
Oh no, I got Kevin Epley, coached the women's Fed Cup team for the USA, and I got to meet like Lindsay Davenport and Monica Seles, and I think I saw Lisa Raymond, who plays some pickleball as well.
Yeah.
But like I got to meet them, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And you realize, okay, they're just
Normal
women like
people.
us, normal people. But at the same time, it's like, they got to be, like Kim got to be in a level that I could never reach in tennis. I just think that takes so much. It's not just, your talent, but that is such a work discipline to the next level. So,
Yes, agreed. Agreed. Well, again, thank you for that. Thank you so much for coming on here today. And thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Talk Pickle to Me with the GOAT, Simone Jardim. Please make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Talk Pickle to Me, and come back for the next episode. We drop new episodes every Wednesday, so make sure you tune in. Thank you so much.